Hi friends, welcome to episode 70 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha and you can find me anywhere online as Toni. Thank you so much for coming to spend some time with me today. I really do appreciate it. We might be racing the sun today. Good times. I'm coming to you today from my home in Central Florida, and today is Tuesday. I didn't even look up the date. January 22nd? Yes, Tuesday, January 22nd, and it's a nice, pleasant day outside. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back, and to all of the new subscribers, welcome. This is definitely a story of awkward timing because last week when I filmed, we had just hit 1,000, so I was talking about the 1,000 subscriber giveaway, and this week when I filmed, we just crossed 2,000. So, hooray! When I looked at it, I was like, oh, I haven't even finished the the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Like, this is crazy. Crazy. But anyway, so to all the 1,000 new of y'all, welcome to my space on the internet. I call this a craftcast because I do a lot of different things. Most of the time what you will see is knitting and crochet, like yarn based things, but I do sew. I am going to get back into watercolor, like painting, dabbling or whatever, like nothing fancy. Like I'm not like excellent at it, but it's something that I enjoy doing. You'll see scrapbooking on here occasionally, photography, just all kinds of different crafty things that I get up to, hence the Quirky Monday Craftcast. If you want to know more about me, the video before this last one, so 2 videos back, is the 1,000 subscriber video, and in it I do a Q&A. So you will learn all kinds of things about your friendly neighborhood Kalisha. Okay, before we get into the crafting, I did want to touch on a little admin-y thing. We do have an upcoming make-along. It's the Pisces season make-along, and I will put the hashtag down at the bottom. It is going to be starting on February 19th and will run through March 20th, which is Pisces season. I am going to put up a picture of the infographic that I made with the details and stuff like that. There will be a chatter thread and a finished object thread in our Ravelry group. Oh yeah, we do have a Ravelry group. If you go to the groups tab and search Quirky Monday Craftcast, you will find it. It's kind of a ghost town right now. I'm gonna do better, y'all. I'm gonna do better. But yes, so all of the rules and details will be over there, as well as on this infographic that I will put up right here. So, let's get into some crafty things. I guess first, because I don't have any finished objects, I will tell you what I am wearing today, and it's on my head. This is the Syncopated Bees shawl, and I will put in a picture so that you can see what it looks like as a shawl. And I decided that I wanted to wear it as a head wrap because why not? And I think I really dig it. So this might be something that I do in life in general. Tootie. Tootie's being a little Barky McBarkerson. What are you barking at? She's not even listening to me. She's serious business keeping the backyard safe from the wind. But anyway, Syncopated Bees shawl wrapped around my hair. That's what I'm wearing today. I'm also wearing a t-shirt that I thrifted. It says, "Have courage and be kind." It's a quote from, what was that? Cinderella, I think. It's a Disney shirt. But I think that this sentiment is very important these days. Have courage to say the things that need to be said, and be kind when you say those things. Anywho, let's go on to works in progress. I feel like all I have is works in progress, BT dubs. Well, let's show you this one since this is the one that's on top. This is my Nalya wrap. It is a pattern by SharaMade, and it is this long now. I am halfway through. So this wrap is being made from my Kwanzaa mini skeins. As I say, like every time I talk about this, the last 7 days of the year, so the week between Christmas and New Year's, is Kwanzaa, and each day you discuss a different principle. So I wanted to also, being a yarny, include a like advent calendar for those 7 days. So I did. And we have day 1, which the principle is umoja, which means unity. Day 2 is kujichakulia, which is self-determination. Day 3 is ujima, which is collective work and responsibility. And day 4 is ujama, which is cooperative economics. I have day 5's mini right here. And day 5's principle is Nia, which means purpose. And this colorway it was a mini that was sent to me from Melinda of Yarn Woman of the Yarn Woman podcast. And this is Opal Rainforest series in the butterfly colorway. I will also say that 5 of the 7 mini skeins that I have for Kwanzaa event were from Melinda, and 2 of them were from Alice of Alishka Yarn Cakes. So these 3 here are from Melinda. This is the first one that's from Alice. So also, this is totally my green, just right there. But yeah, the last time you guys saw it, it was right here. So obviously I have not done a whole lot of work on this, but it's chugging right along. Yeah. So yeah, I'm halfway through that. Just making my way downtown. Not really. I don't know why that just popped into my head, but anywho, the next work in progress, I'm super excited, guys. I was like a little bit terrified to do this, but I did it. Are you ready? I cut them in half successfully, and I did not drop any stitches. It was terrifying. Primarily because I wasn't entirely sure like how it would work. I mean, in theory, I was like, well, as long as you have all of the stitches on a needle, you're good to go. And yeah, but in practice, I was just like, surely this is going to mess up somehow, but it didn't. I successfully split this. I have a sneaking suspicion that one sock is longer than the other, but we're just going to ignore that because whatevs. Hi, Kiva. You gonna say hi to the people? Oh, you're too short. They can't see you. You have an ant on your face. How'd you do that? Okay, you want to come say hi to the people? Okay, all right. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. Look, they're over there. You're looking the wrong way. You don't care. Anyway, I split them apart. Super excited. These are my birthday socks. And I just smacked myself in the eye with a needle. I'm so glad that I wear glasses right now, y'all. Seriously? We're doing this again? We're doing this again. Everybody's on my lap? Tootie's being an awkward sitter yet again and is sitting on top of all the projects. What are you eating? Oh my gosh. Well, you guys did say that. What are you eating? I hope that doesn't make you sick. I'm not trying to go to the vet today. You guys did say you wanted more of the dogs. Here they are. And Tootie's gone. Okay. What was I saying before I was so interrupted by the real stars of this podcast? Yes, I split them. I'm going to knit the cuffs now, or next. And the cuffs will be in this. This is Lion Brand Sockies in the grape soda colorway, which is the same thing I did for the toes. And then the body yarn of the socks is Knit Picks Felici in the Countess colorway. These are my birthday socks. I am super excited about them, as you can see. And yeah, I'm glad that I have multiple pair of size 1 knitting needles, because that would have been a struggle without that. That's all I have to say about these. I recorded a video of me splitting it. I may or may not insert that either here or at the end. We'll figure it out. You'll find out when I do. That's not true at all. I'll find out when I edit this. Something. I was going to say that I'm in rare form today, but that's not entirely true. I think I'm just feeling a little goofy today. Like this, no joke, is like the most I have spoken today. So you guys get Kalisha with all the words. 2 works in progress down. Who's next? Living in my Wakanda Forever bag from Lady Dye Yarn is what looks like a tangled mess, but it's not. This is my Summertime Tee by TL Yarn Crafts. And it is a crochet top, work from the bottom up. I have added on the sleeves. It looks quite scandalous right now, but it's not. So I did do a modification on here. I added this much. So it's about 4 inches of length to the body, because I felt like it was going to be too short. I don't have a particularly long torso, I don't think, but I just wanted to make sure that my back was covered. I got distracted because I think I missed a stitch. Oh, no, I didn't. This pattern is worked using extended double crochets, which because of the, is it because of the extension or the chain one? I don't know, whatever. Because of the mesh, like the way that the mesh works up, you have those little diagonal lines. Can you see them? The little diagonal lines between the stitches, right? And like you get into a rhythm of doing the extended double crochet, and to do that, or extended single crochet. And I think just in that spot where I have that hole right there, I think I just did a double crochet and didn't realize it, but it's fine. You can't see it for real. Unless you're going to be like all up close and personal, which then we would have to have a really awkward conversation as to why your face is this close to my chest. Anyway, so Summertime Tee. This is the front. I have to do 7.5. I don't know. I have to do some odd number of inches on the sleeves, and then I get to do the whole thing again for the back, and then I get to seam, which I'm not really looking forward to, but whatever. I am excited about this top because look how lacy and delightful that is. This is going to be so Florida appropriate. I'm excited. So this progress keeper that I have living here is a clay star that was made for me by Melody of the Melody Crochet podcast. She is another delightful crocheter and also knitter, but she's really, really sweet, and she is always laughing in her podcast. I definitely recommend you check her out. So yes, this came in a swap that we did last year for our birthdays. Our birthdays are like, what is it, like a couple days apart? Like less than a week apart, our birthdays are. And she sent me like in the swap there was like a ball of yarn, and in the ball of yarn were like different little treats and like gifts. So like as you unwrap the ball, the little treats would fall out, which I thought was the cutest thing. And this is one of them. And I also have some stitch markers of that same star. And this is made out of Lion Brand jeans yarn in the stovepipe colorway. And I am on my second ball out of 4. So I'm hoping that I don't run out of yarn because of the extra 4 inches that I'm going to be adding to the front and the back. But it's a commercial yarn. I won't really have to worry about dye lots for real. At least I don't think so. Those could be famous last words. And is this my last work in progress? I think so. So this, I forget who it was on Instagram did a hashtag that was Make9Detour. This is one of those. So hashtag Make9Detour. Last night, Lamar, who's my husband, and I went to go see Aquaman. And as you do, I could not go to the movies without a project. And I had already finished my birthday socks, and I didn't have anything else that was like that I could do and not look, because I can't crochet and not look. So all I can, like, I can knit and not look. So I had to cast on a sock. And so all day I was, well, not all day, earlier in the day I got the cuff done, and then all of this, like from the end of the cuff all the way down to where the needles are, I did that in the theater. And we really enjoyed the movie. It was great. That was the end of my my movie review. I liked it. It was great. I knit a sock. Huzzah. There were parts that were like really like kind of like intense. I had to put the knitting down so I didn't mess it up. But this yarn is both of the yarns. So like the top here is Patton's Croy socks in flax, and this is, let me not lie to you guys. Oh yeah, I was about to tell you all the wrong colorway name. This is Calla Lily Colors. I was about to say like Vintage Rose. No, that's a different thing I'm doing. But this yarn, and this is what it looks like in the ball. I got this at a thrift store. Like one of those thrifts, like little tiny mom and pop thrift stores that like donates all of their profits to like an animal shelter and stuff. So I went in there, was just like poking around, and they had like this huge bin of yarn. And you know, whenever you see thrift store yarn, you're just like, okay, it's not going to be like great yarn. It's going to be like old red heart that feels like an actual Brillo pad or the bottom of a rug. And to my delight and surprise, guys, there is somebody leaf blowing again. What's the deal? And there's a plane going over. Struggle bus. It's fine. Yeah, but to my surprise, there were 2 balls of this yarn. So one that the person had obviously like started using and balled up themselves, and then the other one was unused. So I think they were like $2 for the both of them. So of course I got it. And yeah, so since Patons Croy is thicker than like a typical fingering weight sock yarn, I am doing this on 2.5 millimeter needles. Am I telling the truth? No, I'm doing this on 2.75 millimeter needles, and it is a 60 stitch sock. Normally I do 2.25 on 64 stitches. So that's that. This is here just because I counted the rows. So I have 46 rows on this sock. And I think, I don't know, I kind of feel like making them like extra tall. Who knows? I thought this was going to be kind of cool, but I don't know, whatever. I kind of just got bored using the flax because the whole cuff was supposed to be flax, but then I was just like, I thought I was going to end up still working on the cuff when we got to the movie theater, so I just went ahead and switched over to the main color. So it's got 10 rows of flax, 10 rows of the calla lily, and then onto the leg, because I do like a 20 row cuff on my socks. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other sock, and then I'm going to also use the flax for the heels and toes. And that, my friends, is everything for works in progress. Is that true? Am I telling fibs? No, that's true. Let's tuck all this back in here. Okay, so next we're going to go into maker plans, and I have two that I want to talk about today. One of them is yarny, one of them is not. The one that's not yarny is my plan to get back into watercoloring. So now I say get back into watercoloring like I was like big into watercoloring to begin with, which is not true at all. Like, I've played with watercolors, like not even like fancy watercolors that come in the tube. I'm talking about like the little pan watercolors, you know, $5 from Michael's. That's where my skills are. So I bought this huge pad of watercolor paper like around Christmas, because I was going to do a big painting for one of my friends and I did not do it. So that huge pad of paper has just been sitting in the corner of my room looking at me with its sad watercolor paper eyes, and I have just like every day been like, you know what, Kalisha, let's get the paints out. Let's play around with this. I really, really want to do a big, like a whole paper galaxy painting. I've done smaller ones, and I really want to do a bigger one. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to film it for you guys because, one, why not? And two, somebody requested that in the Q&A video. Anyway, I'm going to do some more watercolor paintings, and then I want to also practice like brush lettering with watercolors, and maybe actually painting things that are not galaxies, because galaxies are super easy. You just like keep layering on the color and then ta-da, you have a galaxy. So I want to try like painting actual things. So we'll see how that goes. The other maker plan is yarny, and I'll be using this yarn. This is so like bright and awesome on screen. So this is yarn by Queen's Yarn Boutique, and that's owned by Rochelle. She also has a podcast. I am going to be doing the Kia socks, which is a pattern by Dawn Henderson. She's Dawn.Landix on Instagram, and she designed this sock pattern as kind of a response and a gentle reminder of equality regarding the conversations about race and inclusion that have been happening on Instagram. And let me just read to you this bit that she put at the bottom of her pattern. It says, "This pattern was directly inspired by conversations within the online knitting community involving race, diversity, inclusion, and representation amongst knitters. It serves as a gentle reminder that we all deserve to be heard, to be seen, to feel safe, and to be treated well in this space. Peace and happy knitting. And I think that is like such a perfect reminder of how we should all treat each other. So I am going to be knitting those socks out of this yarn, and then I'm the kind of person that finds symbolism like in anything, right? When I thought about doing this sock pattern and I pulled out this sock yarn, I was like, okay, yeah, this is great. And then I looked at the name. The name of this yarn is Firestarter. And it just made me think, like, when it comes to being an agent of change and inspiring change in people around us and in yourself, you have to be a fire starter. You know, you have to be a spark that sets other people ablaze for the better. You know what I mean? So yeah, they are going to be my fire starter Kia socks, and I'm probably going to cast them on tonight. I was going to cast them on earlier today, but I kind of got carried away with the summertime tea. But Dawn is also doing a knit along for these socks. It started yesterday, so January 21st, and I'm not sure how long it runs, but I will put that at the bottom of the screen along with the hashtags. So yes, it is a free pattern on Ravelry, so I definitely encourage you to go get it and knit along with everyone and send those like vibes of positivity to your fellow people. And that is everything that I have for maker plans. And next we will go on into stash positions. So I have one gift and two purchases. So first I will show you the gift. It's from my friend Tiffany, and she took a trip to Atlanta recently, and while she was there went and found a yarn shop and bought me yarn because she is the sweetest. And she was like, I hope that you like it. I hope that you can actually use it for something. I don't know what I was buying, which is just adorable. This is the yarn that she got me. It's Araucania yarns in the Unyan base, which is a harmonious union of baby alpaca and Tanguis cotton, Tanguis, Tanguis. It is, where's the mix? 50-50, 50% cotton, 50% alpaca, and these are a worsted weight. So these colors are perfect to be used for the Pisces season make along. And I think what I'm going to do in my make 9, I have the Suze-Anna top, and I have just enough yarn to do that top. Now my only concern is that I believe that top is done in like 100% cotton, and this has alpaca in it, which has a tendency to stretch. So leave a comment down below. Tell me if I'm setting myself up for failure by making a top out of this. I don't know. The way I look at it is I can make the top, and if it stretches out, then maybe I can do adjustments to it or whatever like that. But I think this yarn as a top would be like really cool, right? And I took it, I took one of the labels off and I stuck it like in my shirt like this, and I was like wiggling around to see if it was like prickly, because alpaca can be a little prickly. There's a tiny like prickle factor, but I figure I'll wear like maybe a spaghetti strap top underneath it, just so that I'm not like all prickle. But yes, so that is a sweet, sweet gift from Tiffany. I told her I'm going to start this as soon as possible so that it doesn't just sit in my stash. And yeah, so you guys will see this again, unless I find out that it's a terrible idea to make that top in this, and then I'll have to come up with another plan. The next stashquisition that I have is this yarn. This yarn is from Mitchell's Creations, indie dyed yarn, and it is her fleur base, which is 7525 superwash merino nylon stellina. It is the colorway Oh Lucky You, and you spelled like a sheet because duh. Just take a moment. Just look at. Oh yeah. So if you are a new viewer, which chances are you are, I have a soft spot for all things St. Patrick's Day because my first date with my husband was on St. Patrick's Day. So I'm just a sappy little lady like that. So whenever I see anything that's like St. Patrick's Day themed, either loosely or directly, I'm like right on it. But this, it's just so pretty. Look at those colors. And can you see the stellina? I love it. I love it. I think I want to make these socks. I think they're going to be our anniversary socks. Not entirely sure, because part of me also wants to have this like on show. I have been running into that problem lately where I will buy a yarn that I just really love, like how it looks, and I want it to be socks and I want it to be like something else, but I only have one skein because yarn is expensive. And I don't know what I want to do with this, guys. For now, it's just going to be gorgeous. And I think it does that really well. The last stash position is a pin that I got. It is from Maker's Merch. And it's a Nitrovert pin. Nitrovert? Nitrovert. I am incredibly introverted, which people have told me that they would never guess that because of like how I am on camera. And to that I say, I'm actually just talking to myself. So I like talking to myself. I find myself to be fun company. You guys just get to be like part of this conversation as well, but just not like immediately, because guaranteed if I had to talk to a group of like, I don't know, one other person, I'm like breaking out into nervous sweat and like freaking out and stuttering my words and everything. But yeah, I'm incredibly introverted, if you didn't know. I don't know if I said that in the About Me video. As my Myers-Briggs, I vary between INFJ and INFP, which is interesting because they are very different. So I'm a very interesting person in my brain. But yeah, so I got an introvert pen. If you want this, they are available for pre-order. I will put a link to the Etsy shop down below. You should definitely check it out. They have another pin that says, it's like a banner, and it says Maker. And I think they have something else on there. I can't remember what the other products were, but because I love collecting pins, there we go. That's everything for works in progress. That's everything for stashquisitions. And we will go right into Black Fibers, Black Threads. Now, for this week's Black Fibers, Black Threads, I took to Google, as I normally do, and just to see like what new thing or person I can find on there. And I came across Delores Chamblin, and she is a crochet artist and does these amazing tapestry crocheted tapestries. And I'll put up some pictures of some of her work, and I definitely encourage you to go check her out. I also put a link to her website and everything. But so the funny thing that got me about this, about like discovering her and like randomly finding her on Google, is that she's based in Florida, less than 20 minutes from where I live. So she does a lot of like the artist shows and farmers markets and stuff like that that you'll see during the summer. So I am going to see if I can find out where she is so that I can meet her. I hope that doesn't sound too crazy, but I think I'm going to do it. But one of the things that I really like about her work is that it is so varied. Like, she has a whole lot of like African American inspired and African inspired like visual imagery, but she also has like unicorns and playing cards, like other like generic stuff, right? And I think that's a really good thing to have, like, as a creator. Like, yes, have your niche, have your thing that you really want to focus on, but don't get so like entrenched in that you like lose your ability to reach out, like to reach other people. I think my favorite piece of hers, she has this amazing tapestry that she did of King Tut, and it's just amazing to think that she crocheted all of this. And it has really, like, looking through her body of work, it really made me want to do more tapestry crochet. I've done a little bit, but nowhere as amazing as her work. So this definitely reminds me of when I discovered Zenobia Bailey, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I want to try that. And then I made the black and white, or the black and neon rainbow blanket. This Delores Chamblin has definitely inspired me to do more tapestry crochet, and I have some ideas that can probably lend themselves to tapestry crochet, which I'm really excited about. So we'll see how that goes. I feel like that should be the title of this episode. We'll see how that goes, because I've said that like 6 times. But yeah, definitely check out her work. It's just looking at the detail that she's able to get in her crochet work is just amazing. So yeah, that is your Black Fibers, Black Threads tidbit of the day. And I told you guys we were going to be racing the sun, but we are just at the end. I can probably get this last life and whatnot section in before it goes dark, because I feel like all day the sun is like slowly moving like this, right? But then at sunset, it's just like, does anybody else feel that way? I'm going to stop talking about this because I feel like it just got a little bit darker. Anywho, life and whatnot. The biggest, most awesomest thing, yes, I said awesomest, not awesomest, awesomest thing that happened to me this week is I was able to watch the total lunar eclipse, and it was amazing. I will put in a video. I did a time-lapse video of me watching it. I wanted to do a time-lapse video of the moon itself, but my iPad was not about that life, and it was just like black and a little blur of like white, and I was like, no, that's ridiculous. But I was able to get some really awesome pictures using my DSLR, and I will put those in as well. I froze my little fingers off. Okay, I didn't freeze my fingers off because this is Florida and it's not really that cold, but it was cold Florida style. I sat out in my front yard. I had a sleeping bag and some blankets and the camera and my phone and my iPad, and I was just watching, and it was just so awesome to see the shadow just moving across the moon. And then when it was completely eclipsed, when it turned red, that was just like, psh, I don't even know, why does it happen? Why is the moon red right now? Like, why? But that was really cool. and then to see, you know, the shadow going back across, and then throughout the whole thing, the moon moving across the sky. It was just so it was one of those times that really reminds you of how big everything is and how small you are in relation to it, right? And it was so great. The sky was completely clear, so Mother Nature took my pep talk to heart, and I'm pretty sure that she felt bad about, you know, me missing the Geminid meteor shower in December. So she's making it up. She's making up with me, and I appreciate it. Good luck, Mother Nature. But the sky was completely clear. I got a bunch of really awesome pictures, and it was so delightful just being outside and looking up, seeing the moon going through all these changes like right before my eyes, and then also being surrounded by my favorite constellations, because the winter sky is my favorite sky, period. And someone in the Q&A video asked, was it the Q&A video? It was either the Q&A video or on Instagram. Somebody asked me why I love the stars and space so much. And it's because they're always there. You can trust them to be there. I have mentioned in the past that I've had, you know, struggles with depression and anxiety, and sometimes the thoughts, like sometimes depression makes you think that you're alone, that there's nobody who understands where you are, there's nobody in this space with you, you know, curl up in a hole and don't come out. Like, these are kind of some of the thoughts that at least the depression told me. And one of the things that I found comfort in was being able to walk outside and look up and see the same constellations, the same stars over and over again. Every night they were right there. Like, I knew if I walked outside and I looked this way, I was going to see Boots the Herdsman. I knew if I walked outside and I looked this way, I was going to see Orion. I knew that Cassiopeia was going to be over my shoulder if I was looking at Orion. I knew that his dog, Canis Major, was down by his feet, and that Gemini was over to the side. I knew that these constellations were right there. And if ever I needed to like grab a hold of something tangible, I could see them, you know, like they were there. And they just gave me such a feeling of hope and reassurance in those times when I really needed it. And I really feel that that's why I have such a deep love for everything spacey, because those constellations were there for me in the weirdest way. I know, I call them my friends, and I think that's really true. They are my silent friends hovering above me all the time. And this goes back, you know, even before I had like my big depression in college. This goes back to when I was younger, like in middle school, and, you know, going through those like middle school struggles and like learning yourself as a person and all kinds of upheavals like that, you know. I could always go outside in my front yard and I could see the stars. And my all-time favorite star is Arcturus. If you find the Big Dipper, there's the handle of the dipper that makes an arc. You follow that arc, and the bright star that it ends on is Arcturus, and that's one of the principal stars of Boots the Herdsman in that constellation. And Arcturus was like my touchstone. Like, whenever I started feeling just out of control of everything, whenever I felt like everything is falling apart, I could go outside and I could find the dipper and I could follow that arc and it would land at Arcturus, and Arcturus was always there. And on top of that, Arcturus is what they call a never set star. So it's always above the horizon. So barring houses and stuff, trees and shrubberies, you can always see Arcturus regardless of what time of year it is. So that, I think that's where, with Arcturus, that's where my love, like my deep love for the stars came. So there you go. As now it is dark, I'm gonna go ahead and go inside. Yeah. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being a part of my universe. Leave something positive that happened to you this week in the comments so that we can all share in that positivity. Remember to have courage and be kind. And I will see you guys again next week. Bye. I just tried to set up the iPad to get a time lapse, and you can't see nothing but a white dot in the sky. So that was a fail. Stay tuned for pictures.